I want to talk about something that nobody knows. I've never seen anyone talking about this, but I know that for a fact even before getting this LGC1, and that is disabling TAA, temporal anti-aliasing, actually dramatically increases specular highlights. So, with my cell phone app, for example, which is inaccurate for sure, but you see that specular highlights is 815. Okay, 815 nits. So, let's say that cell phone app is completely inaccurate. The way I am measuring it is completely wrong. That's as bright as I've seen it on this TV. And I watched Dolby Vision videos. I watched, I have watched very high quality content on this TV. This is as bright as it gets, and the difference is huge. So let me explain you what I'm talking about. This is a gaming PC, okay? On the PC, you can do a lot of things, and one thing you can do is disable anti-aliasing on these games that they are coming with TAA force. You can just get a patch, just patch that, and it's going to disable anti-aliasing, because you go to the settings here, for example, options, graphics, and you come here to anti-aliasing. If it has an anti-aliasing setting, I think it doesn't even have one. Let me see, I don't remember. It doesn't even have an anti-aliasing setting. So it is forced. TAA is forced on this game. Do you see how sharp this is looking? I don't know if you realize that on the recording. This is looking extremely sharp. This is real 4K, no anti-aliasing whatsoever. You cannot get this fidelity with TAA. And not only it increases the fidelity dramatically, and it looks a lot better and not blurriness when you move the camera. It also actually increases the highlights a lot. And I would even go as far as to say that it is going to increase the highlights in a broken way. This is actually kind of broken because, for example, if you see this shininess here, you see all this shininess going on here. This is not the creator's intent. And the reason I know that is because I know how TAA looks here. All this shininess going on, this small shininess, that's not the creator's intent. That's because I disable TAA. But I would I would take that any day. I don't care about the higher, this is so bright. This blinds me. It is uncomfortable. That's how bright that is. It is higher brightness than the sun. It is extreme. So you get that highlight if you have TAA on, but not even close to the level of luminance that I'm getting here. Like I said, I measured over 800 nits on these highlights. It's insane. So also you see, and this is also because of that TAA off, you see this shiny, let me show you here. You see this thing being so shiny? That's not the creator's intent. This is because TAA, it basically is broken. It breaks the engine, kind of, because, it doesn't break the engine, but with TAA on, that doesn't happen. So it looks like the developer was not very careful to prevent that from happening, or it's just something that is built into the Unreal Engine 4 and they don't care about that, because when you use TAA, you kill a lot of the peak brightness. And I know that for a fact, and I can show you the difference in many Unreal Engine 4 games, in many games that I just disabled TAA, and everything looks a lot. So basically the contrast and the shininess of the game just goes up dramatically. So in my opinion, what I'm looking for with HDR, I am not looking for 1600 nits. I am not looking for a TV that is going to give me those 4000 nits or even 10,000 nits. What I like about HDR is the low luminance detail, the shadow detail. I get a lower luminance detail than with SDR, and I like that inside that darkness I get pop from light sources. So for example, I was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and inside a cave, the cave was dark and it was full of bright objects. That's amazing. So you have the super bright highlights together in the same scene where you are on a complete darkness. Alien Isolation, for example, looks incredible with this HLG HDR. It's amazing, and that game was not even designed for HDR. But I am 100% sure that if the developers watch how good this looks with HLG, they are not going to say, oh, no, we don't like that. That's not our our creators' intent. So creators' intent, it doesn't mean a lot to me, to be honest. I've seen how they do movies, for example. When they record the movies, after they record the footage, then they go and they just change the colors. We're talking about real life footage. They change the colors, they add tints, they completely change the image like dramatically. And of course, that's the developers, the creators' vision. But I care more about things looking natural to me, things looking realistic, that things looking like the developers creators intent. So yeah, just wanted to give you that information. It's very interesting, I think, and not many people know that. I've never seen anyone talking about that, and it is real, and I can show you before and after. But here's the thing, this is not my job, and I have a lot of things to do. If I start doing, like, let's say, and I can do this if I can find the time and do something like like a series comparing games before and after and all of that, but I don't want to be editing. I do editing, it is a lot of work, and I really appreciate people who do that. And it's really the best way to show everybody that you are right. But my intention is not to demonstrate that I am right or my opinion is correct. I'm showing you the information. You can go and try it for yourself and let me know if you like it. But really, for me to go and then enable anti-aliasing and do a testing and a measurement and before and after pictures and all of that takes a lot of work and editing, and it's not easy. And I'm doing this for free. Like, I'm not making any money. I'm not planning to monetize this channel, not yet, at least. Of course, if I can make some money, that's great. I'm not going to say no to that. But that was not my intention. My intention was to share good information with everybody. At least something you can try. It's not gonna break your TV, and it might give you a much better experience. So yeah, I'm not going to respond or say, oh, let's take a look at this video, let's copy somebody else's settings on HDR, and I'm going to demonstrate to you that HLG is better. I'm never going to do that, because I don't care about demonstrating anything. I just care about myself getting the best experience, and what I like, and I'm gonna share that with everybody. Even if you like it, then use it. If not, that's okay. So yeah, just wanted to share that. I think it's very interesting, because a lot of times I see everyone when talking about HDR, the most important topic of conversation is how much peak brightness can you get on the highlights. And I guarantee you, you are going to get a lot more peak brightness by disabling by disabling that TAA, which is on. That TAA is an infection, in my opinion, and most games are infested with it. And even on PC, you cannot turn it off, and I think it's horrendous. It does work well at low resolutions, and there are some good TAA implementations for that, but I think that at 4K, TAA is just an infection, and I wish someday it just stops completely, because I don't like it. It looks horrible, it looks blurry. It looks so blurry that this game, for example, with the TAA, I changed from 1080p to 4K and I can barely tell the difference. That's how bad this is. That's why you see many upscaling implementations like DLSS or FSR, and people talk about comparing how good, oh, this looks so good, it looks like native 4K. No, that's not native 4K, I'm sorry. That's blurriness 4K with TAA. That's why people think that those techniques are good, because they've never seen real 4K and they just see blurriness. So you use something like DLSS, which I think is fantastic. And actually on God of War, which also has TAA force, actually I disabled TAA from the game using a mod, and I am using DLSS and it works fantastic. So I don't know why, I have no idea why. For DLSS to work, they are forcing TAA. I know that motion vectors are important and all of that thing, but you don't have to start off with a blurry image. And I don't want to say that, talk about conspiracy theories or anything like that, but I think that having a blurriness to start with, it just makes those techniques look a lot better. Because when you enable DLSS, it looks sharper than native 4K. Do you think that makes sense? A lower resolution image looking sharper than 4K? Of course not. That makes no sense. There's no magic. The reason why that looks better is because TAA looks blurry. So when you use DLSS, it looks sharper even at a lower resolution. So that makes no sense. And that makes DLSS looks a lot better. So yeah, just wanted to make that, to give you that information. If you really want higher higher peak brightness on your highlights and you have a computer, just disable TAA and you will see what I'm talking about.